Hi there guys, Sam here. You join me in the Golf R for another bit of an update, and yeah, as the title suggests, do I have kind of any regrets not getting a DSG Golf R and autos in general? But yeah, I haven't done a video in a while, so this is actually the start of the week, so you'll see it towards the end of the week, so hopefully you'll be in a more positive mood because work's finishing and stuff like that, which is I'm very much looking forward to. But yeah, I thought I'd start off actually with a few updates actually. Just a few things that I've been thinking about the Golf R just in general as it's coming into the winter months. Just to get your opinion sort of in the comments what you think I should do and bits like that. So quickly, just the first one was actually on tyres. Is it worth swapping them out and getting sort of a winter set of tyres on it? Would it be worth getting a new set of wheels? I'll list it above here, see how it comes up, just some sort of table or something, bullet points. Yeah, is it worth doing it, getting a new set of wheels with winter tyres on it? And I've actually seen some really good deals actually. You can get like, yeah, decent set of like 18-inch alloy wheels with winter tyres around sort of like £700, which actually all in is actually not too bad. Bear in mind it saves the wear on these tyres and you can just flip them back. So that's the first thing. Alternatively, I can just change the tyres for these ones, see how it goes. Another option is just to leave it absolutely as it is. You know, it's fine. Save myself some money and just enjoy the car. You know, it does get cold around here. It's already started to change. It's getting darker as well until daylight savings kicks in. So those things I've kind of been thinking about. Also a little bit around, there's a friend was talking about ceramic coating. He's got it done on his. Again, it's quite an expensive option, but if I'm thinking of getting the Golf keeping the Golf for a long term, you know, is it worth it? I have no experience on it. I have a few sort of stone chips just on the front of the bonnet. You know, do they touch it up? All that kind of stuff. So a couple of things listed that's going in my head, whether or not I'll do it. Whether or not I just won't do anything, but that's kind of it. On the coolant side, actually, I will have another check on it, so I'll update you on that because I do want to 100% make sure that it's all okay. Particularly hearing more coolant problems and more publicised issues with sort of like the Ford EcoBoost engines. Little bit of harsh publicity, I guess, if you haven't seen it, but yeah, so I'll check on that. Anyway, that was just a quick update on the Golf R. Absolutely loving it. About 14,500 miles in now, and it's going strong. So yeah, manual gearbox against an automatic gearbox. You know, do I actually regret when I bought this car? Should I have got a DSG? You know, etc., etc. And straight away I'll answer, I'm really happy with the manual gearbox, and there's quite a few reasons for it. Again, I might list it here or I might just talk. You know, one thing, the cost is a fair amount less for going for an automatic like for like. Whatever car you have, whether it's a Golf R or a Porsche or a, you know, a Fiat, I don't know. It's generally, you pay a little bit more for the auto like for like. And costs wise, I think at the time when I bought this car back in August 2017, it probably would have cost me about £5,000 to get a DSG 3-door Golf R, and that's quite a lot of money. And that's sort of like a minimum really if I found a good deal, and I don't really have that money to spend on a car. You know, this was kind of top of my price range anyway, so that was kind of one thing. Also, I always had a good kind of soft spot for manual gearbox. I just think they're a little bit more simplistic to use. You know, it's kind of that get in and go, something that I've just been used to in general, and I was always more comfortable with it. And having done plenty of test drives in it, I had no real problems with the manual gearbox actually. And it actually made it feel a little bit like a muscle car, to be fair. You got to drive it slowly, and then you kind of put your foot down and it still flies. And it never really, I still got that sense of speed of the car, and it was really fun. Going on, I haven't actually driven the DSG Golf R. So again, you know, a lot of people have DSG Golf Rs. I think 90% of the people who bought them worldwide, I don't know if it was the UK or globally, got DSG gearboxes. And I obviously broke the trend and got a manual. I know a few of my subscribers also have manuals. My experiences of driving automatic gearboxes, like when I was running through test drives, I drove an BMW M140 with its automatic gearbox. I've driven a Porsche 911 Turbo S with an PDK gearbox with a 600 brake horsepower, round of track, and I've also recently driven a Aston Martin Vantage V8 with an automatic gearbox. I'll put a clip on now. And for all of those, that I kind of drove, my main sort of thing that came to me was it was more relaxing. Even when I drove them, particularly the M140, I just felt it was really quite docile, easy to drive, you could sort of chill out in. It was really, really nice. And I was like, cool, that's fine. I've actually driven a Ferrari F430 as well many years ago, on an automatic gearbox, and that was sort of violent. It was the sort of an F1 paddle shift. Back in 2006 that car came out, so it was kind of early days of it, and it was quite jerky, and yeah, you still got that real sense. But even like the Turbo S, you know, I went one lap around the track, and I found it was a little bit of a one-trick pony. I had sort of that one or two laps, and I was like, wow, you know, I had to brake so much earlier for a corner because it was going so much faster than what I'd gone in previously. And I kind of felt that would be the case with another auto. That was my personal opinion. As much fun as they were, and you know, I certainly won't, you know, a DSG gearbox or any automatic gearbox is still great, and I'm sure I'd enjoy one if I was sitting in it now, but you know, as for a few reasons, it's, you know, I'm really happy with the manual. The other thing as well, and again going back to the Porsche, you know, I've driven the Cayman GT4 quite a few times. I've probably driven it about 5 times around a track. It's obviously got a manual gearbox, and even though it was ridiculously high gearing, i.e. second gear would get you 85 miles an hour, so you weren't massively on the gearbox that much around a short track. It felt more engaging. It felt a little bit more in control, and a bit more, I suppose, a bit more risky in some ways as well. You know, you had to sort out the gear changes. Okay, to be fair, I could cheat a little bit and do the auto blip and stuff like that, but I tried stuff myself, and it was you can really upset the car actually if you get it wrong, whereas you could just not upset a PDK gearbox at all. Don't get me wrong, it gave me more chance to focus on my lines and stuff like that, and that was enjoyable. So those are some of the reasons. It's kind of why I say it's not as, I personally just think it's a bit more relaxing, which isn't what I was looking for, you know, certainly to that end of the degree. I came from a Fiesta ST, which was the ride, particularly I got one pretty much as soon as they came out in 2013. The ride was really, really, really hard, and I only really noticed it when I drove other cars, to be fair, how hard the ride it was. So coming from that was one thing, just to get a little bit more of a softer ride, maybe a little bit more refined, which is exactly what this car offers. So refined, so quiet, you know, plenty of the same sort of fun that I got in my Fiesta, but sort of in a different package. And if I had a DSG, I just think it would go, you know, where you think my Fiesta ST's here, the Golf R's here in terms of, like, say, refinement and stuff like that. I think the DSG would have probably pushed it on further that way, rather than potentially bringing it closer, maybe on sort of like a fun type level. Don't get me wrong, to be sitting in a car that frankly do 0 to 60 in low 4s is pretty ridiculous. And I'm certainly not ruling out ever getting a DSG sort of gearbox in the future, funds allowed or situations allowed. But you know, I absolutely love the manual gearbox. I think it is probably underrated in the Golf R. I think you know, a lot of people went for DSG, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, certainly, I've said it before in other videos about the manual. You know, give it a go, try it out, and you know, particularly if you own a DSG Golf R, it's good to see a comparison. As I should probably try a DSG Golf R, but just from my experience in other autos, that was kind of the conclusion I came to. Price is a big factor as well, particularly in this market. You know, hot hatch, it's got to be competitively priced. I've mentioned before, you can spec this Golf R up to about 50 grand. If you wanted to, with every single option, and yeah, for a daily car, it's too much money. And yeah, you're still getting the package of what is a really, really great car. And also when you're sitting on the motorway in top gear, 6th gear or 7th gear in the new DSG on the 7.5s, or 6th gear in the auto on the Mark 7s, you know, you're cruising. You have the cruise control on, you have whatever on, still relaxing, you're not going really through the gears anyway. So in those situations it's fine. And even, you know, I have some short journeys around some crappy roads in St Albans where it's just too tight, and the manual gearbox is still good because I can still kind of, you know, first and second, have a bit of fun. And yeah, it's really, really good. I am interested to know your opinions. You know, again, massive thanks for the support, the subscribers, the likes, the comments, messages on Instagram as well. I'll put my Instagram tag somewhere around here. And yeah, just generally talking about Golf Rs, talking about, you know, issues, problems, what you'd recommend, and bits like that. And it's really good to hear. And again, well, like I've said before about my channel, trying to build a bit of that community. You know, you can teach me as much as I can kind of hopefully help you guys out with my general ownership. You know, you might know something which frankly someone else who has a Golf R would need to know, and it's kind of building that community is basically what I'm saying. And that's been really, really great. And again, on sort of like the DSG, you know, I don't regret it. I don't really have any regrets. Whatever decisions you make, you know, you make whatever decisions you can in life. I think early on, I did a video shortly after I bought this car. I was like, you know, do I regret getting the car in the first place? And although in the back of my head, I really did miss my Fiesta ST because it was so much fun. It was obviously less money, etc., etc. But you know, I've had a great experience in this Golf R, and it's hopefully going to continue as well. And again, sharing that with you guys, which wasn't actually the intended purpose of me buying the car. A few months after I bought it, to share it with you guys on YouTube is really, really cool. So 100% no regrets of getting the car, and no regrets of getting the DSG box either. But you know, again, drop a comment on what you think. You know, do you think I'm completely wrong and you should only get a DSG for this car? You know, feel free to put that in. Or do you think, you know, manuals are great? Or do you think both are great? Which is kind of what I think. I've never got a problem with any car or gearbox. You know, you know, BMW M140 is a great car. Focus RS is an absolutely fantastic car. You know, your Audis or whatever, the RS3, the sound of that is pretty ridiculous. On that note, actually, I did a video on the Golf R420, put a link above, and there was a video again today. The date is about the 9th of October, and it was further testing on it. So yeah, maybe it was a Mark 7 R420 being tested, so that'll be interesting. Randomly off topic. Yeah, and your general thoughts on what you think about the DSG and versus the manual, really. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. More content to come. You know, I'll put this on as it's near. Hopefully, it's near the weekend. Fortunately, I've still got more days to go of work. But enjoy the whole rest of your weekend, and you know, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and share it as well around kind of the community. And you know, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Cheers, guys.